In a small town called Acorn City, deep in the heart of a thick forest, stood an old cabin. The cabin looked forgotten, its wooden walls weathered by time and the roof covered in moss. It was known as the Lighter Cabin, a name that puzzled everyone. Locals whispered about dark secrets that lay within its walls, and they all felt a chill when they spoke of it. One autumn afternoon, four friends, Jack, Lucy, Mia, and Tim, decided to explore the forest. They had grown tired of their usual weekend activities and wanted to uncover the mysteries of the Lighter Cabin. With leaves crunching under their feet and the air crisp and cool, they made their way through the trees, laughter echoing in the silence of the woods. "Are you sure about this?" Mia asked, her voice shaky. She looked at the tall trees that stretched up towards the sky, their branches swaying gently in the wind. "Come on, it will be fun," Jack replied, his excitement infectious. He had heard stories about the cabin from his grandfather, who had warned him never to go near it. That only fueled his curiosity. As they approached the cabin, the sunlight faded behind thick clouds. The Lighter Cabin loomed before them, its windows dark and foreboding. A sense of unease settled over Lucy. She remembered the stories she had heard as a child about the Book of the Damned, a mysterious book said to be hidden inside the cabin. It was believed to contain dreadful secrets and even the power to summon demons. "We should turn back," Lucy said, her voice barely above a whisper. But her friends were already at the door, pushing it open with a loud creak. Inside, the cabin was dim and dusty. Old furniture was covered in sheets, and cobwebs hung from the ceiling like ghostly decorations. The air was stale, filled with an earthy scent that made their stomachs churn. A flickering candle sat on a small table in the corner. It was strange to find a candle here, as if someone had used this place recently. Tim noticed a trapdoor in the corner of the room. "Look at this," he called out. The others gathered around, their curiosity piqued. Tim pulled at the handle, and the door creaked open, revealing a narrow staircase leading down into darkness. "What do you think is down there?" Jack asked, peering into the blackness. The others hesitated, but the thrill of adventure pushed them forward. They all agreed to go down together. As they descended the stairs, the air grew colder, and a feeling of dread washed over them. At the bottom of the stairs, they found a small, dimly lit room. On an ancient wooden table lay a large, dusty book bound in cracked leather. The title, "The Book of the Damned," was embossed in gold, glinting ominously in the low light. "This is it," Mia exclaimed, her eyes wide. "We have to read it." "No, we shouldn't touch it," Lucy warned, her voice trembling. But her words fell on deaf ears. Jack reached for the book, and with a flick of his wrist, it opened. Heavy dust exploded into the air, causing them all to cough. Suddenly, the room felt alive. The temperature dropped, and a strange wind blew through, rattling the door. The friends exchanged fearful glances. "What did you do?" Lucy cried, her heart racing. Before Jack could respond, the pages of the book began to turn on their own. A voice echoed through the room, low and gravelly. "Fools! You have awakened us." The shadows in the corners thickened, twisting into dark shapes that slithered toward them. Panic set in as the friends realized they had released demons from the book. Tim shouted for them to run. They bolted up the stairs, but the darkness was faster. The shapes reached out with claw-like shadows, grasping at their clothes and hair. "Close the book," Mia screamed. Jack's hands trembled as he tried to slam it shut, but the book fought back. The voice grew louder, mocking their terror. "You cannot escape. You have called us, and we will not be denied. Help!" Tim yelled, trying to pull away from a shadow gripping his ankle. With a surge of adrenaline, Lucy grabbed a nearby candlestick. She swung it wildly at the shadow, and to everyone's surprise, it struck true. The shadow hissed and released Tim, retreating into a corner. "Keep fighting," Jack shouted, finally managing to close the Book of the Damned. The moment the cover shut, a loud, echoing roar filled the room. The shadows screamed and dissolved into the air, wisps of darkness mingling with dust. The friends panted heavily, fear giving way to relief. They stared at the closed book, unsure if they were truly safe. "Let's get out of here," Lucy said, her voice steady. They scrambled up the stairs and burst out of the cabin, racing through the forest until they reached the safety of the sunlight. As they caught their breath, they looked back at the lighter cabin. It stood silently, its secrets hidden once more. They agreed never to speak of what happened but promised to never let curiosity lead them into darkness again. In Acorn City, the forest remained a place of whispers and warnings, the tales of the lighter cabin told by those who still dared to tread its paths. But for Jack, Lucy, Mia, and Tim, they had learned the hard truth that some mysteries are better left undisturbed.